Welcome back to Knowledge Hivin, where we believe knowledge is a service and sharing it empowers all of us. I'm your host, Leisa Sims, CEO of Knowledge Hive. Have you ever held back posting that first video, sending that first email, or sharing an idea because you thought, what are people going to think? Maybe you've had the concept for a business, maybe a passion project that has been waiting in the wings for months or years, and yet it's still just an idea because you're paralyzed by the thought of being seen, starting small. Mel Robbins has a way of putting it that sticks. We don't fear failure. We fear being seen failing. That's it. Not failure, judgment, exposure, that gut-wrenching fear that everyone is looking at you, silently deciding whether or not you belong. Today, we're going to explore why that fear exists, why it's completely normal, and most importantly, how you can move past it. At the end of this episode, you'll see that small starts matter, and courage is built one imperfect action at a time. Before I get started, I want to share my, well, that's cool story, thanks to Knowledge Hive. If this is the first time you've joined me, let me do the 30-second pitch here on what is Knowledge Hive after all. Knowledge Hive is an on-demand marketplace for top-tier professionals that are willing to share what they know with others that need their expertise. So if you're looking for help, you are what we call a seeker. And if you are offering help, you are a hiver. So this week, I wanted to highlight one of our seekers that was struggling with her marketing strategy. She had a consumer packaged goods, beauty sector type company, and they hired one of our hivers as a fractional CMO to overhaul their marketing organization, align the strategy, launch an innovative pipeline, and restructure their marketing operations. The CMO dug in and really double-clicked on their e-commerce strategy. And so what changed? Their e-commerce revenue is on the rise. Email and SMS subscriber base is now growing like crazy. And the growth also helped them expand distribution. And in the seeker's feedback loop for the hiver, she said that she felt the CMO had put them on the path to a possible acquisition by a major player. Her financial benefits, as she described it, is that she increased recurring and direct-to-consumer sales, higher margin via her e-commerce branch, and stronger asset value. When acquisition happens, growth and distribution matter. I love these stories, and I hope that you will come to Knowledge Hive and look for your hiver. Now, on to this week's episode, which is such a critical first step for anyone wanting to become a solopreneur. I recently read Mel Robbins' book, The Let Them Theory, that really inspired this episode. Why we fear being seen. Let's dig into why this fear feels so real. Our brains are wired for social survival. Thousands of years ago, judgment could mean exclusion. Exclusion meant danger. And even though we live in a world of email and Zoom calls, that ancient wiring is still in play. Our brains want us to blend in, to be safe, to avoid ridicule. Enter the spotlight effect. That's the psychological phenomenon where we overestimate how much people notice us. You think everyone is staring at your mistakes, but here's the reality. Most people aren't. Most people are way too busy thinking about themselves. In the book, Mel Robbins reminded us that nobody's thinking about you. They're too busy thinking about themselves. I want to take a moment here for some reflection. How often have you held back because of what you imagined others might think? I know for me, when I first considered starting Knowledge Hive, I didn't really post an article online for months. Still wasn't too sure if people were even going to read it. This podcast was a stretch. Every time I imagined someone reading something I wrote or watching one of these podcasts, my chest tightened, stomach churned, I froze. It's universal. The fear is real, and yet it's also largely imagined. So you fall into this trap of waiting to be ready. Perfectionism is one of the sneakiest forms of fear. We tell ourselves we're being productive, planning, researching, refining, but the truth is it's just a shield. The reality, you're never really fully ready. Mel Robbins gives a 5-second rule, which is perfect for moments like this. She says, if you have an instinct to act, count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Don't wait for confidence. Don't wait for perfection. And here's the thing. Confidence doesn't precede action. Confidence is a side effect of doing the thing. Every time you act in spite of fear, the next step is just a little closer. Courage compounds. Think about someone you admire. Chances are they didn't start perfect. They started scared. They started small. And then they started again. So, what are some of the strategies for overcoming this fear? How do we actually move past this fear? First, reframe your judgment. People's opinions are often more about them than you. Their judgment reflects their limitations, their insecurities, or their lack of experience, not your value. Find safe spaces. Start small by sharing your ideas in trusted circles. A friend, a mentor, a supportive online group. Build confidence in a low-stakes environment before going wider. And focus on your service. Shift the question from, what will they think of me, to, who could this help? When your focus is on impact, your fear shrinks. Then practice visibility. Do something imperfect intentionally. Post a video, write a blog, or send that email. Visibility is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. These strategies are about creating momentum. They're about small, intentional acts of courage that accumulate into real progress. Here's a truth I want you to sit with. Starting small is still starting. Consider podcasters, creators, and entrepreneurs that you admire. Many of them began awkwardly, stumbling through their first videos like I did, first products, first pitches, and yet their willingness to be seen imperfectly allowed them to improve publicly and eventually thrive. Mel Robbins also said, the only way to be great is to be brave enough to be seen being bad first. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite fear. Every small step matters. Every tiny act of visibility compounds into growth. So here's your challenge. Take one small, scary action step this week. Post your first video, share your idea, create a profile on Knowledge Hive, send that email you've been avoiding. I'd love for you to tag Knowledge Hive or message us your story. We'd like to celebrate your courage and how you started small. You never know who you might inspire. Don't wait until you're ready. Start scared, start small, but most importantly, just start. Because every great journey begins with the courage to be seen, starting small. Thanks for tuning in to Knowledge Hivin. Please share this with someone navigating their own career pivot and that just needs that little push of encouragement. I'd also love to hear your freelance or your solopreneur or your consulting journey. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn or at knowledgehive.co. New episodes drop every week, so don't forget to subscribe. And if you haven't already, go and create a free profile on knowledgehive.co. Got a question or topic you'd like us to uncover? Drop it in the comments below. Subscribe, please. Until next time, we are Knowledge Hive, and we are Knowledge as a Service.